Alright guys, so now we're going to start to create the track. And always when I open up my Logic, um, I will have to have an idea or at least know where to start. But there is some days that where I don't know what to make and what to create, but I still want to get some tracks done or just a new kind of sound. So I've found out a pretty good way to make yourself to have some new ideas. Um, I will show you how to do that because if you're like me, sometimes you won't get any new inspiration or any new ideas for a song. So this is a pretty good way to get yourself into the sounds and into something that will get you creative. Because if you're just waiting on the inspiration and creativity to come, it would, for some it works, but for me I need to work on stuff to get myself creative. So this is a pretty good way to do it. Okay, so if you just press on the plus sign here and open a new software instrument, go and reset the channel strip. So I have a blank track here, and I use the battery plugin from Native Instruments. You will have it in AU Instruments, Native Instruments, and Battery. So what I do here is to navigate to one of my Vengeance sample packs. It can be a sample pack that you own that is not Vengeance or any other ones. I like Vengeance because they have the pro sound in it, and the sound that you will hear on the radio and that you hear on the radio all the time. Actually, Vengeance is overused to the maximum, but it has the sounds, and it's so many sounds that you can play around with, so it's pretty good to have them on. And every Vengeance sample pack, or not every Vengeance, but a lot of the Vengeance sample packs has like a synth folder or a bass folder that will have some snippets of sounds there, of like sampled synths or sampled basses. So I will show you what I mean by that. If I go on to, for instance, the bass cuts here, you see that I have a lot of different bass sounds here. For instance, this sounds pretty deep housey, and I don't need to mess around with other plugins and search for the right preset and try to program the sound or search the whole YouTube for a tutorial or something. This will get me the good deep house bass sound immediately. If I just double click on it, then that will import the bass sound on here. And I always go to the setup and press the key track button here. Then go back to the main, and I also will raise the key range and lower the key range also. This way I can play the bass sound on my MIDI keyboard. And you see, I immediately, by just pressing some keys on my MIDI keyboard, I did get some creative ideas, like this one. So that is pretty dope. What I always have also is a MIDI effects because if I play the sounds on my MIDI keyboard like very softly, you will have this sound pretty harder and harder. I will get it louder. I don't like that. I want to have the sound volume to be consistent, so I just press the MIDI effects here and velocity processor. They have a preset on here which is called Maximize Velocity. Press that one, and as you can hear, you can get so creative with this plugin. You have stuff like this from default in Ableton and in FL Studio. You can just drop a sample on there and just play around with it with a MIDI keyboard, but Logic doesn't have that thing for some reason. Logic has EXS24, which is a pretty good sampler, but I have to get into the edit and then import the sample and then lay it out on the keys here, and I have to do that with every sound, and I want to play around with sounds to hear them and to quickly switch between them. So this is a very good method to do that. Yeah, so you get the idea. So that is what I do to get myself inspired if I don't have any idea. And even if I have an idea, I just get with the battery and load up a sample and try to play the idea. So that is for basses and stuff like that. But if I need some chords, this will, of course you can play chords with this thing too, but I'm not so good at playing chords at the MIDI keyboard. I'm not a very good piano player, so Logic has this MIDI FX, and there is a cool plugin from a company called Xfer Records, and the plugin is called Cthulhu, where there are some presets for chords, where you can just play one single key on your MIDI keyboard to get some nice chords, and you can play around with that, and you will never hear a chord that sounds bad. So I will show you what I mean by that. And because we're doing deep house today, I will have the M1 piano. It's a pretty good piano that has been used since the 80s or even before that. So and it's still being used in almost every deep house production today. So the plugin is from Korg and it's called M1. You can get the M1 LE that I have. I think it came with a MIDI keyboard or something. I got it for free. So that's gonna be the plugin that I am choosing. And here I have the browser. Press the search to get the categories and choose the piano. I think it's this one. Yeah. So I also add the velocity processor to this to get the maximized velocity. Very good. I'm not sure if it's this piano sound. Yeah, it's that one. So what I do is after this velocity, I will choose a Cthulhu plugin and add it there. And first of all, I would take off the ARP because we don't make ARPs with this today. So let's just take it off and have the chords enabled here. So you can see you have chord presets here. You can just choose some random preset. I will choose that one. And now if I play on my keyboard, I will get some different chords that can make me get some ideas for a chord. So let's just play around at the MIDI keyboard to see what I get.